Mourinho'S desperate for a Chelsea defender. Arsenal closing in on a PSG star? And wait, have Liverpool actually put Alexis Mac Allister up for sale? All this and much more in today's episode. Before we get into the news, give it a like. It genuinely helps more than you'd think. Done? Let's dive straight in. Real Madrid are gearing up for a proper summer spectacle. After a season that can only be described as an absolute disaster, the club have pulled out the nuclear option. Jose Mourinho is back, and he's already pointing fingers, specifically at the left side of the defense. And honestly, he's not wrong. Ferland Mendy is out injured until the end of the year. Alvaro Carreras turned in one of the most forgettable seasons you'll see at that level. And Fran Garcia isn't even in Mourinho's tactical universe. He'll be sold without a second thought. The special one needs someone nailed on. First choice, no arguments. Target number one, Marc Cucurella. According to Sport ES, Chelsea have given the Spaniard the green light to leave in the coming weeks. The Blues are absolutely desperate to trim the wage bill, and they're willing to let him go for £52 million. That's $9 million over his transfer market value, by the way, but Chelsea are Chelsea. And suddenly, it's a proper scrap. Atletico spent weeks trying to haggle Chelsea down, but the numbers just didn't add up. Barcelona fancied themselves too. Deco made some quiet inquiries through his contacts. The plan was elegant. Sell Balde, use the money to bring their academy product home. Except Balde flatly refused to leave Camp Nou and killed the whole thing stone dead. Now the Catalans are just hoping Joao Cancelo comes back on a permanent and calling it a plan. Cucurella himself knows Barcelona want him, and he's not exactly opposed to going home. But the reality is harsh. Atletico, and especially Real Madrid, are the more attractive propositions right now. Madrid want this wrapped up fast, before anyone else can muscle in. The 27-year-old's Chelsea contract runs until 2029, but nobody's planning to hold him against his will. Mourinho wants this deal. The board will pay. The English are waiting. The Spanish are counting every penny. Paris, city of romance, inflated price tags, and endless agent games. Right now, it's playing host to a classic little drama called the Bradley Barcola situation, and it's delicate. 23 years old, contract running out in a couple of years, and renewal talks have hit a complete wall. Textbook transfer stalemate. The market value is there, the asset is clearly valuable, but someone has to decide. Hold on for the sake of it, or cash in and accept that the lad's ambitions have outgrown the current arrangement. L'Equipe insists. PSG aren't trying to shove him out the door, but they're not locking it either. Barcola's agent, Moussa Sissoko, was already sat down with Luis Campos last week for a quiet coffee and a frank conversation. Here's the thing. PSG genuinely like Barcola. Al-Khalifi, Campos, Luis Enrique, they've all sung his praises publicly, but the era of throwing absurd money at the problem is over. Much like some of my viewers, whose era of hitting the like button has apparently never even begun. If you've been watching for years without leaving so much as a thumbs up, now's the time to have a moment. Go on, I'll keep it between us. The Parisian project, for all its wealth, is trying its hand at discipline these days. Respect from the board no longer buys you an untouchable spot. Want minutes in the big games? Earn them. PSG aren't making promises. Enrique wants to keep him, but even his patience has tactical limits. No top club hands out guaranteed game time just because they like the look of you. And naturally, that's when Arsenal came sniffing around. A rapid, technically sharp winger who hasn't hit his ceiling yet. That's Arteta's wish list in human form. The Gunners need exactly this. Someone who terrifies defenders in transition, carries the ball at frightening pace, and can genuinely go past people on the outside. But can they give him what he wants? Arsenal don't guarantee starting spots either. And Arteta's system demands serious defensive graft, tactical patience, and a very specific kind of intelligence. Talent alone doesn't cut it here. If PSG lower the asking price, he's absolutely worth a fight. A gilded cage. looking for its next resident. When Manchester City come knocking, rational thinking tends to pack its bags and leave. City have set their sights on Elliot Anderson of Nottingham Forest. Journalist Ben Jacobs reports that 2 bids have already been knocked back, but City remain bullish. Forest owner Evangelos Marinakis is handling negotiations personally, apparently without even telling his own manager, Vitor Pereira, and he intends to get the deal done strictly after the 30th of June. Boardroom theatre at its finest. Manchester United had been sniffing around Anderson for a while too. United desperately need a proper holding midfielder. Casemiro is effectively done at the club, and Manuel Ugarte, 2 years after that expensive PSG move, still hasn't justified the fee. But without the players' buy-in, United weren't prepared to get dragged into a financial war over this one and quietly stepped aside. So City are left going toe-to-toe with Marinakis' demands alone. Personal terms? Sorted. Both parties are aligned on everything except the one thing that actually matters: the money. Forest are demanding a staggering £125 million. City's latest offer? £121 million. For a player Newcastle sold for just £35 million in the summer of 2024. Yes, he's played nearly 100 games since then, chipped in 6 goals and 11 assists. But £125 million? The market has completely lost the plot. Then again, City don't have many alternatives. Rodri's long-term future at the club is uncertain. Real Madrid are circling, and the Spaniard's fitness has become a genuine concern over the last 18 months, which you can see reflected in City's performances. Anderson looks like the ideal solution. The checkbook is coming out. Finishing in the bottom half of the table, for a club with Newcastle's ambitions, that's nothing short of an embarrassment. Eddie Howe's side can't afford another transfer window full of good intentions and questionable outcomes. The Magpies need players who can instantly raise the level, sharpen the attack, inject some dynamism, and give this team something to actually fear. One of the leading names in the frame, Cody Gakpo, the Dutchman has been left in a state of uncertainty at Anfield after an extremely difficult season. Gakpo is a cut above, reads the game, holds the ball, can operate across the whole attacking line. But Liverpool's attacking rebuild leaves his position incredibly vulnerable. If new arrivals push him further down the pecking order, a move starts to make sense for everyone involved. According to Court Offside, Tottenham are currently leading the race, ready to put roughly £60 million on the table. But Newcastle are watching closely. Spending £60 million on Gakpo is a massive gamble. At that price, the expectation isn't pretty football. It's results, immediately. And that raises a whole load of questions about Eddie Howe's setup. Where does he actually fit? Left wing? Behind the striker? And if you're building around him in the number 10, who has to go? Newcastle have holes all over the pitch, not just up front. Splashing the cash in attack doesn't paper over structural problems elsewhere. And if Howe stays in charge, he'll need to get the very best out of every new signing from day one. Gakpo is a good player, Premier League proven, but without a clear tactical plan, this could easily become another expensive lesson. A shiny name on the back of a shirt doesn't win you points. Liverpool are having a clear out, a big one. The club are ready to sacrifice a key midfield figure to fund a proper rebuild. Drastic times call for drastic decisions, especially when last season's champions finish 5th in the Premier League and the board sack the manager without so much as a leaving card. Yes, Arne Slot was dismissed earlier this month. Andoni Iraola is now the man tasked with sorting out the mess. And to do that, he needs transfer funds, specifically for a top-quality central midfielder. To raise those funds, Liverpool are prepared to do something rather uncomfortable. The prime candidate for the exit door? Alexis Mac Allister. The Argentine has been on Real Madrid's radar for ages. His contract runs until June 2028, and Liverpool haven't even opened talks about an extension. Why bother when you can just sell him for a handsome profit, right? 80% of you watching this haven't subscribed. Seriously? You're out here behaving like Liverpool's board, leeching off someone else's talent and offering absolutely nothing in return. Don't be like the Anfield suits. Hit subscribe, tap the bell, and get yourself in the first team. Otherwise, I'm selling you to Real Madrid, along with Mac Allister. As Football Insider reports, Liverpool are going to need some serious financial creativity this summer just to put together a halfway decent transfer budget. Mac Allister is the asset they can realistically cash in on. Reluctantly, sure, but he's at peak value right now. And after a strong World Cup campaign, the queue of interested clubs will form all by itself. Fabrizio Romano has weighed in too, confirming the transfer is genuinely on the table. This window, if the offer is right for both sides, the Anfield hierarchy are hoping to pocket around £80 million for their star man. Astronomical fee, undeniable quality. Iraola needs fresh faces. The old guard have to go for the greater good. He's walked into a burning building. First order of business: start carrying the furniture out